Welcome to Lady Show Story. On this channel, I share heartfelt stories that take you into the world of ancient wisdom and faith. Today, I invite you to journey with me through a truly remarkable tale, the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. A long, long time ago, the Israelites were living in Egypt. At first, they were just travelers who had come during Joseph's time, but over the years, their population grew and spread across the land. A new pharaoh came to power, one who did not know Joseph or remember the good the Israelites had done for Egypt. He began to worry, thinking, "These people are more numerous and stronger than us. What if a war breaks out one day? They could join our enemies and leave this land. That would be a disaster." So, Pharaoh made the Israelites his slaves, forcing them to work day and night building cities. Yet, no matter how harsh the labor, the Israelites continued to grow in number. This only made Pharaoh more afraid. Finally, he gave a cruel order: all newborn Israelite boys were to be thrown into the Nile River, while the girls were allowed to live. During this dangerous time, a baby boy was born. His mother, not wanting him to be killed, placed him in a small basket and set it afloat on the river. The basket drifted gently with the current until Pharaoh's daughter discovered it. Filled with compassion, she took the child in and named him Moses. Moses grew up in the royal palace, learning all the knowledge and culture of Egypt. Yet, he never forgot his people. He saw the Israelites suffering under slavery and felt deep sorrow. One day, he even struck down an Egyptian who was beating a Hebrew slave. Fearing for his life, Moses fled Egypt and lived in the wilderness, tending sheep. Years later, while Moses was shepherding his flock, he saw something astonishing: a bush that was on fire, yet not consumed by the flames. Curious, he stepped closer, and there, God spoke to him from the burning bush. God called Moses to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of slavery to the Promised Land. At first, Moses was afraid, feeling inadequate for the task, but God promised to be with him and gave him miraculous signs as proof. Moses returned to Egypt, accompanied by his brother Aaron. He boldly said to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he refused. So God sent a series of calamities to show his power. The Nile turned to blood, the fish died, and the river stank. Frogs swarmed everywhere, filling houses, streets, even beds and cooking pots. When the frogs disappeared, the dust of the land turned into countless lice, crawling over people and animals alike. Swarms of flies darkened the sky, invading homes and making life unbearable. Then, a plague struck the livestock, causing many to die. Moses threw ashes into the air, and painful sores covered both humans and animals. Hail mixed with fire and thunderstorm destroyed crops and trees. Swarms of locusts devoured the remaining greenery. Darkness covered the land for 3 days, so thick that people could not see their hands before them, while light remained in the places where the Israelites lived. Finally, God warned Pharaoh that the firstborn of every household would die. That night, cries filled all of Egypt, not a single home was untouched. Only then did Pharaoh relent and say to Moses, "Go, take your people and leave Egypt." The Israelites hurriedly packed their belongings, taking their families and animals, and set out under the cover of night. Yet Pharaoh soon regretted his decision. "How could I let so many slaves go?" he thought. He quickly assembled his chariots and army and gave chase. When the Israelites reached the Red Sea, they were trapped. In front of them was the vast sea, and behind them, Pharaoh's army thundered closer. Panic swept over the people. Some cried out to Moses, "Why did you bring us here? Weren't we better off as slaves in Egypt? At least there we knew our fate." But Moses stood firm. "Do not be afraid," he said. "Stand your ground and see the salvation the Lord will bring you today." At that moment, God told Moses to raise his staff over the sea. A miracle happened: a strong wind blew, and the waters parted. Towering walls of water rose on either side, creating a wide, dry path through the sea. The Israelites walked in awe and fear, moving steadily toward freedom, with the dark waves held back and a divine light guiding their path. Pharaoh's army pursued them, but suddenly, their chariots got stuck, wheels slipping, soldiers panicking. When all the Israelites safely reached the other shore, God instructed Moses to lift his staff again. The waters rushed back, engulfing the pursuing army. Horses, chariots, and soldiers vanished beneath the waves. The Israelites stood on the far shore, hearts full of amazement and gratitude. They finally understood that God had personally delivered them, freeing them from slavery. They sang praises in the wilderness, celebrating God's greatness and power. The story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt is more than an ancient tale, it is a mirror reflecting our own lives. The Israelites were trapped in slavery with no choice and no freedom. Today, we may not be bound by chains, but fear, worry, or other struggles can hold us captive in similar ways. The parting of the Red Sea reminds us that even when all seems hopeless, God can make a way. The 10 plagues show us that a hardened heart brings pain and destruction, while surrender and trust open the path to liberation. When we face our Red Seas, the moments where there seems to be no escape, where pressure surrounds us on all sides, will we, like the Israelites, step forward in faith and follow the path God sets before us? Exodus is not just about leaving a place. It is about leaving the chains behind and stepping into new life. And that is the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. From slavery to freedom, from fear to faith, every step reminds us that even when there seems to be no way, God can make a path where there is none. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe to Lady Show Story, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming tales. See you next time.